What's going on to you Aries out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. Y'all gave me the most views, so you get the first reading. You actually gave me the most views twice in a row, but by the time I had actually uploaded the video, right, you Aries had given me the most views by the time I dropped the video. So anyway, it's your time to shine right now. For you, you have the Sun, the Two of Wands, and you Aries have the Nine of Wands right here. A lot of fire energy, right? Immediately. So there's definitely a sense of some people thinking that basically there's an expectation that you Aries thought that you had where you needed to be with someone immediately, and that expectation essentially is gone now. A lot of you Aries understand that that there's really no point in really being with somebody unless they're quality, right? And it really depends on what it is that you call quality. I've talked about this before, and let me go ahead and dive deeper into it. What I'm referring to when I say quality, I'm talking about character first, no exceptions, and then money, and then social standing. A lot of times, sometimes, especially in this modern day society, whenever it is I talk about character, there will be a lot of people who disagree, but their disagreements is only really an illusion, because there's really only one path, and that's the path that I talk about to walk down. A lot of times people think that there's many different paths, and that's the truth. There is a path. There is other choices that people can take, which is to not take my path, right? But at the same time, the reason why does I say that there's one but many is because there's one correct path to walk that works. But then of course there's still choice, right? You can still choose to do whatever you want. Y'all are adults. But the situation with that is all of it ends up being right back around to my path. The only people who stay on other paths are dysfunctional people who have dedicated their lives towards being dysfunctional, who made a promise to themselves that they will stay on that dysfunctional path. Because the things that I know, and a few other people who truthfully talk about it, they know that, yeah, there's many different paths, but there's only really one path. That's discipline, respect, healthy respect of other people, healthy respect of yourself. And people like to make it seem like that, this is why it is I said that some people are really deluded, because they like to make it seem like there's different paths. And it's like, yes, you're right. Look, there is different paths, but there's only one path that gets you where it is that people say out of their mouth, or where anyone says that they want to go. And that's this one. No exceptions, because I've seen it. I haven't seen a path other than mine that works yet. The hard-headedness and the ego of others, they think, oh, okay, well, what this has to do with you, you Aries in the first place, is because I'm saying it to say that people tend to think that there's a point, or there's value in messing with somebody who does not have a whole lot of value, or is very low value, right? Why deal with someone who is for the streets on either side? And they like to lie, and they like to make it say, oh, well, the reason why it is that they're dealing with someone for the streets is because having someone that's valuable, that truly is a person that you keep, right? There's no point in that, because dealing with someone like that on the low, because someone that you keep has standards. And it's like, yeah. So it's this. So I remember hearing lies about that, or BS about that, because now it's the notion of, if you just trying to get a good time with said person, You're not going to go to set this person because they're going to take time to build that relationship with if they're smart. And it's like true, but at the same time, there's the catch-22. What happened to discipline though? Because in the long run, is there really any kind of value in messing with somebody who's for the streets in the long run? It's like, okay, you get the quick fun. And nowadays you're not even getting quick fun because the people that you would think are good for that, they're running all types of games so much now to the point where it's like that's even up in the air. So it's like, why not skip the hassle in general and just only date and rock with people that bring value? Like, why give yourself a headache by trying to do that? And that's exactly what it is that essentially you Aries are not going to do, because a lot of you Aries understand that there is only value in messing with people who bring value to the table. It's the truth. It really is the truth. There is no value in messing with people who are for the streets at all. Those people are supposed to just go on about their business, honestly. But then you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Because what's going to happen here, the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Cups represents when you Aries have made some very good decisions. But that's my point. Like, when you only deal with people who have value and bring value to the table, people who are not for the streets, right? Truly not for the streets. I'm not talking about people who dress up and act like they're not for the streets, because there's a whole lot of that too. Yes, it's a bit of a search, but the thing about what you Aries are doing is, again, a lot of you Aries, right? You're beginning to understand that when you deal with that, or what you should understand is that when you deal with only people who bring value to you, there's way more. It is worth the wait. It is worth the standards in the first place. It's worth it, because the truth is, people get so caught up with, oh, well, what about if the person has another person? Well, there's a lane open for everybody. There's some people who will accept it, and there's some people who won't accept it. You just have to figure out which side you're on, right? Which one you get into. You dig what I'm saying? And this is why I say that you can't look at from my perspective, right? I will say this is my perspective. You can't look at life moralistically. You should really look at life from a much more well-rounded, amoral perspective, because when you take yourself out of that morality, my dear Aries, that's when you begin to become a lot more observant and watchful and scientific. And you gain answers from it. It stops being an ego thing, and it starts being a thing of self-discovery, right? Because the truth is, some people are okay with polygyny. Some people are okay with open relationships. Some people are okay with monogamous relationship. That's their bag. That's their thing. Everybody is grown folks, so we're going to do what we want to do at the end of the day. Right? But the point that I'm trying to make here is there's a lane open for everybody. Some people must have a ring in order to get married. Some people don't care about a ring to ever even have one, ever. If you want to get one, really, truly, cool. But they're not thrilled about it. They don't care one way or the other. They're asking for a very cheap ring because they don't really care about the ring. They don't even want a ring that's diamond or gold. They don't. Go get them one of those like onyx rings that you get on Amazon that's supposed to energize you. So, and the thing is, you understand that there's a lane open for everybody. And the thing is that the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, again, somebody wants to come back in, reconcile with you, Aries. But this is after they haven't even spoken to you in some time. You haven't heard from these individuals. They popping in talking about, hey, sending you a text message or calling you talking about, hey, the page of swords and the page of cups. You Aries, if whether they're calling you or whether if it's text messages. If it's text messages, don't send them back a text message. Just ghost them. If they're calling you and you have to answer the phone, pick up the phone and have a talk with them, but have a respectful talk with them, but tell them what it is. Look, these people, they wasn't showing you enough interest. And that they and honestly, you don't think that you and them are very much so compatible. Because I guarantee you it's one of those individuals that you was talking to that made a good impression on you, that all they needed to do was essentially show up correctly or come correct, and they didn't want to do that. They disappeared, they ghosted you, and then now they back acting like they goofballs, popping up. Hey, Aries, you remember me from behind the wall? You remember me? You don't get out of here. And so now the judgment now, right, represents how they're not going to like what it is that you have to say, but they're going to have to respect it. Because what do they expect? They expect you, Aries, to just to trust them again after they made a good impression and then disappeared on you for what? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month and change, 2 months and change. Come on, Aries, y'all are better than that. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean when I say you got to stop allowing people. Key word is allow. You got to stop allowing people to disrespect you. The Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands right here is about because you, Aries, people, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. People don't deserve to be treated like trash. There's a certain, and see, this is what I keep talking about, that from the very beginning, why it is I say that people's hard-headedness and their ego and their inflated sense of self-worth is their downfall. It's because when I say things like, you know, I say this to all the zodiac signs. If you don't believe me, you can check out all the other ones. I say this to all the other zodiac signs. You need to be with someone based upon peerage. You're dealing with them based upon their character, and then their finances, and then their social connections, right? Their social standing, their connections. Do they give off a good impression and stuff like this? A lot of times, you know, in a I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, transparent. Always, when it comes to the greater society, right? People are not gonna want to hear this message. But like it is that I said before, Aries, I'm telling you the stuff that legitimately works, and not the things that people in like these podcasts and these pickup artists and this stuff tell you to do because they want to get clicks and views, and it's about the sensationalism. My content will never go out of style. That's the reason why it is I'm not worried about it, because there's always somebody that may not necessarily understand about things that may go to someone who is a spiritualist. So my content will literally never go out of style. There's always someone coming in with a problem that legitimately needs help on a spiritual level that I can help them for. So relationships is not the only thing. I have many different layers. I read whatever it is that the cards pop up and say that I need to talk about. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm just going with my head and my heart, basically. There's no kind of specific direction where it is I take the tarot cards. I don't shuffle up the tarot cards before I turn the camera on and be like, oh, only show me this, only show me that. No, I read wherever it is that the cards pop up with, literally. You know what I'm saying? You know? So the point that I'm trying to make here with this for you, Aries, is there's people who not going to want to listen to this in the greater society. That's part of the reason why I only have 14,000, even though it's growing. Shout outs to everybody. But this is the stuff that works. They have deluded themselves into thinking that you should date somebody for the finances and the social standing, which is the celebrity of it, right? The influence. When they don't seem to understand, that is going to bring them nothing but troubles in the relationships, quote unquote, if you can call it that they're in. And ultimately, they're going to find themselves back on this path, or if they dedicated themselves to playing that game enough, they're going to be in a world of problems. And they're going to continue to be in a world of problems. So the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands is about you, Aries, have learned not to be hard-headed in that way. Once again, Aries is about understanding where to be persistent in and stand up, and where to not be. That's what Pisces represents. Pisces represents surrendering, and Aries, which are right next to each other circularly, right? Aries represents knowing when to actually what to actually be persistent about, what to live for, what to embrace, while Pisces represents what to let go of, what to surrender. So that's very powerful, because for you, Aries, once again, you're learning that people who do stuff like this aren't even really worth keeping around, because what exactly is the point? The two of you could have had something special, they disappeared, and now they pop back up, and then they pop back up expecting you to take them. You're looking good, and they expect you to take them back. Oh, cool. No, because they still plotting. So let's clarify the Knight of Wands, which is this person. Four of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Star card, the Magician, yep. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles. To clarify the Knight of Wands, that's my point. The Four of Wands and the Nine of Cups represents how, because if truth be told, if they wasn't running a game on you, they would have tried to stay in contact with you. You know, like they running game. They trying to get you to think that you would never see them again, which would create scarcity. So now it's like when you see them now, when they pop back up, you got to treat them with a certain level of celebrity, a certain level of privilege, because of the fact that they barely are around you. So now you, Aries, have to essentially, give them a very good date, because players just use this. Pickup artists just use this. People, they just use this type of stuff. And this is what I mean when I say at the end of the day, all games got to stop without exception. Everybody got to stop playing games, because, again, there's really only one viable path. All the other paths, once again, you can go down the route of the pickup artists, but how come, again, here's a good question. All the pickup artists talking about how to make people obsessed and pull them in relationships, how come those people don't ever have a significant other long term? How come you only see them hanging out with a person, maybe, but then for the 99.9% of the time, you don't actually see them with anybody? It's because they copping and blowing. You dig what I'm saying? They only get someone short term, and then, right, all the games that they played originally, they don't work anymore, because it's only about getting the initial honeymoon phase of a relationship, and then they cop the person, and then they blow. They gotta get them up on out of the way. They gotta, okay, well, now it's that and the third, okay, you're out now. Because it's not a long-term thing. It's not a long-term solution to anything. It's not a sustainable long-term solution. So the thing is that the Star and the Magician represents you, Aries, know this. And this is why you, Aries, understand that you are dating for periods. You're looking for a person that has character. The person that has character is what creates the strong foundational relationship that withstands the test of time. Money is not going to withstand the test of time if the person who's using the money, the character who's using it, has poor character. They're going to be infamous and not celebrated if they go around doing people dirty, right? Right? Which is their celebrity, how people know them, right? You dig what I'm saying? My character is good generally, right? My character is good. A lot of people, I've left a lot of people with a good impression about me, right? In a general sense. Obviously, I have some enemies, of course. How do I'm not going to have a personality like this and not rub people the wrong way, of course. But generally speaking, most of the time, I I legitimately try to do right by others, you know, and I don't necessarily really want a whole lot in return per se for my loyalty other than just friendship, you know. But the Seven of Pentacles now represents how so the best thing that you Aries can do as of right now is to not necessarily take this person that's trying to come back in seriously. Just continue to move forward, get to know other people, call them, you know, if they seem like, you know what I'm saying, reach out to them first, and stuff like this. You know, if it seems like they're not answering the phone, see, forget about all that 3 phone call for every, you know, only call them once a week. Forget about all that. If they're that type of person, do not take those people seriously if they're that type of person. Stay away from them if they are that type of person. Just pay attention to see if they reach out to you sometimes. If you reach out to them and they may answer, or they don't answer, or they don't ever reach out to you, that's how it is that you know that they're wasting your time, and stay away from them. But other than that, that's pretty much it. If you ask me, you Aries' character, who you're becoming, who you are now, and who you're becoming is a well upstanding individual that has a lot of class to you. But that's it. I'm trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 100,000 subscribers plus. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Thank you for this. I have 14,014 subscribers. Appreciate it.